You know that feeling when your brain feels completely full, like overloaded?
Oh, absolutely. Like you've spent hours just scrolling, reading, maybe listening.
Yeah, and you're not even sure what you actually absorbed or if it even, helped you get closer to your goals.
We've all been there, that constant stream.
Yeah,
News, updates, opinions. It's a lot.
totally. And if you're listening, you're probably looking for a smarter way, right? A more focused approach.
To learn, to be productive, but without getting totally lost in all that noise.
Exactly. That's the challenge. We're always connected, but do we feel better informed about what really matters?
Probably not always. And the material we've been exploring for this deep dive, it tackles this directly.
Presents this pretty compelling idea, doesn't it?
It really does. That maybe the key to being better informed and actually more productive is to consume less information.
Less. Okay, that sounds counterintuitive at first.
Well, less overall, but being much more deliberate about what you do take in.
Right. So our goal today is to really dig into this concept, this low information diet.
Yeah, based on some fascinating ideas we found.
We want to understand the core of it, why it might be such a game changer.
And importantly, how it can help you listening right now cut through that digital clutter.
Sharpen your focus, maybe even find a bit more mental space to breathe. It sounds good.
It does.
So, with this constant barrage we all feel, where do we start? How do we make sense of consuming less?
Well, the sources we looked at, they start by pinpointing the core issue. Information overload. We can all relate to that.
Definitely.
Think about it this way. Your attention. It's a finite resource.
Right. Limited bandwidth.
Exactly. And every bit of info you consume, even passively, it uses some of that bandwidth.
And the striking thing is, a lot of it isn't even relevant.
A significant chunk, the sources suggest. It's either irrelevant or it actually works against your goals.
Yeah.
Hinders you.
That hits home. I could spend ages catching up on headlines thinking I should know this stuff.
Yeah, that feeling of obligation.
But afterwards, I barely remember the details. And I definitely don't feel closer to tackling my own priorities.
And there's that addictive pull, isn't there, to just keep checking, keep scrolling.
Like, you need to know everything before you can even start doing something.
That's a classic trap the sources point out, needing to be totally looped in before acting.
Why do we do that?
Well, it's partly how our brains react to that constant stimulation. You know, those little dopamine hits from new information?
Ah, right, the notification buzz.
Yeah. But here's a key point, the material stresses. You actually don't need to know every single detail to function effectively day to day.
Really? That feels liberating.
It can be. In fact, as one source puts it quite bluntly, too much information can become confusing, anxiety-inducing, and plain counterproductive.
Like trying to drink from a fire hose.
Exactly. You just get overwhelmed, not actually satisfied or informed.
Anxiety-inducing. That definitely rings true. Sometimes the news cycle just leaves me feeling stressed and scattered.
It happens to a lot of us.
So if that feeling, that overwhelm, is the problem, what's the solution this low information diet offers?
The core idea is right there in the name. It's about making a conscious effort, a choice, to consume as little information as possible.
As little as possible. How does that work in practice?
Well, the sources define it as deliberately limiting your intake of things like general news, social media feeds, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
The main goal isn't ignorance. It's about freeing up mental space, boosting productivity.
By being super selective about what gets your attention.
Precisely. It's all about intentionality.
Okay, so it's not about hiding away, but being a better gatekeeper for your own mind. I like that.
Exactly.
So how do you actually do that? What are some tangible steps?
The sources give several practical strategies.
Yeah.
First one, actively choose not to consume info that doesn't directly concern you.
How do you define directly concern?
Ask yourself, will this have a real short-term impact on my life or my immediate actions? If the answer is no,
Let it go.
let it go. This alone filters out a huge amount of general news that, yeah, might be interesting, but doesn't affect your day-to-day.
Okay, that makes sense. Like a
Yeah.
local issue affecting my street versus something happening miles away that I can't influence.
Exactly. Then, building on that, the next step is to just consciously avoid those general news websites altogether. Just don't go there.
Cold turkey on the news homepage.
Pretty much. And there's also a strong push to actively block out negative information.
Lock it out.
Not like burying your head in the sand, but being proactive. Maybe using filters, unfollowing certain accounts, curating your environment so it supports your well-being.
Okay. And consuming only the minimum required.
Yeah, aiming for just the absolute bare minimum needed for your immediate tasks, your responsibilities right now.
Really focusing on the essential for the task at hand. What about learning? The sources mention something about dedicating a day a week.
Yes, that's an interesting one. The idea is that setting aside specific block of time, say 1 day a week, for deeper learning from specialized sources.
Like books or specific journals.
Right. That can be way more effective than constantly grazing on general shallow information throughout the week.
And creating barriers,
Yeah.
like apps.
Exactly. Using tools like website blockers, turning off notifications, practical things to limit that exposure to stuff that just isn't relevant to your main goals.
It's kind of startling when you think how much time we might spend on info that doesn't actually help us move the needle.
It really is. And the sources also mention some strategies for just reducing the flow overall.
Like what?
3 main things. First, decrease the frequency. Stop checking things constantly. Set specific times.
Instead of every 5 minutes.
Right. Second, decrease the volume. You don't have to reply to every single email or message instantly.
Give yourself permission to batch process.
Yeah. And third, surprisingly, improve your reading speed.
Reading speed. How does that help consume less?
The idea is that when you do need to consume essential info, you can process it more efficiently, spending less time bogged down.
Ah, okay. Efficiency with the essentials. Got it. Now, beyond just getting more done, what about the mental health side? That seemed important.
Hugely important. The material is very clear on this. It explicitly says a low-information diet also promote mental health.
And it listed specifics.
Yes. Reduced anxiety and depression, improved focus, and even better sleep.
Wow. Less anxiety, better focus, better sleep. Just from being more selective about information.
That's the connection the sources make. It's a powerful motivator, isn't it? It's not just about productivity, it's about feeling genuinely better.
Absolutely. Who wouldn't want that?
Yeah.
So for someone listening now thinking, okay, I'm intrigued, but how do I even start? What are the first steps?
The suggestion is pretty bold. Start with a detox, like a real cold turkey period.
Cold turkey, how long?
5 days, no newspapers, no TV news, no recreational internet, no social media, only absolutely essential work stuff online.
5 days. That sounds intense.
It is intense, but the idea is to create a significant reset to make you really aware of your current habits.
And after those 5 days?
Set very strict time limits for any online activity, maybe just 1 or 2 specific blocks per day. And consciously avoid news sources that, make you feel anxious or negative.
I can see how that initial shock could really shift your perspective. What about maintaining it long term? Something about 90 days.
Yeah, the 90-day plan introduces this useful distinction, general versus specialized information.
Okay, what's the difference?
General info, like daily news cycles, TV news, generic news sites, the advice is avoid it almost entirely. Maybe glance at headlines once a week if you feel you must.
And specialized.
That's your focused learning. In-depth blogs, reputable magazines, books, carefully chosen podcasts, things directly related to your interests or goals. Consume those intentionally.
So be passive with general news, active with specialized learning.
Exactly. And the 2 simple rules for this period were no recreational TV at all, and no actively seeking out political or general news updates.
That clarifies things a lot. It's about deliberate choice, prioritizing depth.
And crucially, accepting you don't need to know everything. That's a big mental shift.
It really is. That pressure to be informed about everything is strong.
But the sources encourage letting go of that. Accept your limited attention. Be okay stopping if something isn't relevant. Which leads to another key point.
Which is?
The importance of having really clear goals.
How do goals connect to managing information?
Well, the source points out, if you don't have clear goals, especially that single most critical goal, then almost everything can seem important.
Ah, right. Everything feels like it might be relevant somehow.
Like navigating without a map, you get distracted by every side road. But with clear goals.
That's like a filter.
Exactly. A powerful sieve. It becomes much, much easier to see what's just noise versus what actually helps you get where you want to go.
That's a great analogy. Knowing your destination keeps you on the path. And I love that quote you mentioned. Learning to ignore things is one of the great paths to inner peace.
Isn't that good? It captures that benefit perfectly. Choosing what not to engage with reclaims so much mental energy.
Energy you'd otherwise spend processing, maybe worrying about things you can't control.
Precisely. Less mental clutter equals more calm, more focus, and naturally, greater efficiency.
Right, because you're only taking in what you actually need. Makes sense. And there was that helpful checklist to evaluate information.
Yes, some really practical questions to ask yourself before you dive in,
Right.
like, does this directly help me finish my current task? Does this align with my goals for today or this week?
Okay.
Will this help solve a problem I'm facing right now? And the big one, will I definitely use this information for something immediate and important?
Those are fantastic filters. Just running through those quickly could save so much time.
Exactly. They help you pause and decide if it's worth your attention before you commit.
The source also mentioned a 1-week challenge, even stricter than the 5-day one.
Yeah, it ramps it up. No websites at all unless absolutely vital for a work tool. No news sites, no recreational books, no audiobooks, no general web surfing, period.
Wow. Why so strict?
The purpose is to really force you to identify what information you truly miss versus what you were just consuming out of habit or boredom, maybe.
That sounds like a powerful self-awareness exercise. You probably
Mhm.
realize how much bandwidth was just gone
Mhm.
on autopilot.
Totally. And the source connects this kind of elimination directly to boosting productivity.
How so?
Well, a huge barrier to getting things done is distraction, right? And often news, blogs, even podcasts, they can become unintentional distractions.
Even if they feel productive at the time.
Right. So the advice is be incredibly selective. Maybe pick just one or two key areas you need info on for work or goals.
And trust that important stuff will find you.
Pretty much. Trust that truly critical news relevant to you will likely reach you somehow. And get comfortable saying, I don't know.
Or even, I don't care.
Exactly. If it's not relevant to your priorities right now, it's okay to admit that.
That feels almost revolutionary. Permission to not have an opinion on everything.
It is liberating. And there was that related point about listening more than speaking.
Yeah, how does that fit in?
It's less about consuming digital info, more about communication style. But it aligns with the theme of being intentional. Listening more suggests being receptive, thoughtful.
Filtering out unnecessary verbal noise, too.
Kind of. Focusing on understanding before just reacting or adding to the noise.
Makes sense, being discerning everywhere. And the source warned strongly against garbage information.
Yes, very clearly. Don't overwhelm your mind with low-value, irrelevant stuff. Don't squander your precious attention on things that don't move you forward.
And it distinguished between that and valuable learning.
Big time. It contrasted the often fleeting, unhelpful nature of general news with the lasting value from deeper sources.
Like books, scholarly articles.
Right, things that offer real insight. It even mentioned The Economist as an example of a more substantial source. The guidance was concise. Seek, not too much, mostly facts.
Seek. Not too much, mostly facts. I like that. So quality over quantity, depth over breadth.
Absolutely. And it also gave practical tips on scheduling your consumption.
Right, like actually putting it in your calendar.
Yeah, scheduling specific times, maybe setting a timer, and constantly asking, is this valuable? Is it worth the time I'm investing right now?
Being mindful of the time cost.
Exactly. It even suggested being stricter with email, maybe preferring phone calls for really important things to cut down on constant digital
It
pings.
really all points back to taking control of your attention, doesn't it?
It does. And another layer of control is ignoring things beyond your influence.
Tell me more about that.
The source advises consciously turning out information about situations or events you simply cannot change.
Because consuming it doesn't help.
Worse than that, it often leads to stress, worry, anxiety, draining energy you could be using on things you can control, like your own goals, your actions, your immediate world.
That's a really empowering shift. Focus on your circle of influence.
Precisely, where you can actually make a difference.
The source then circled back to that 7-day challenge, drilling down on the restrictions again.
Yeah, just reinforcing no random web surfing, minimal email, no RSS feeds, no news, TV or online, no nonfiction books, unless directly for a critical work task.
And the goal again was self-discovery.
To pinpoint what you genuinely miss versus habitual consumption, the source even estimated that after this, you might only need 10–20% of your previous info intake.
10 to 20%. That's a huge potential reduction in noise.
Massive. And it specifically called out the negative impact of just scanning headlines.
What was the issue with headlines?
The argument is they rarely improve your life. They're often designed to be upsetting or provoke fear.
Clickbait?
Often, yeah. And even just passively absorbing headlines about things you can't control drains that mental energy we talked about. Energy better spent elsewhere.
So be selective down to the headline level, which brings us back to that core filter.
The absolute key question. Will I definitely use this information for something immediate and important?
If the answer isn't a clear yes,
Move on, don't consume it. And related to that, permission to stop.
stop reading, stop watching.
Yes. If something turns out to be boring or unproductive or just not useful, don't feel obligated to finish it. Just stop. Value your time.
And ignore interruptions that aren't relevant.
Ignore or redirect anything irrelevant, unimportant, or unactionable, which led to that powerful equation.
Increased output requires decreased input.
Increased output,
Yeah.
decreased input. Simple as that. Cut the unnecessary inputs to boost your meaningful outputs.
And the source was pretty blunt about news, wasn't it?
Very blunt. Described it as often time-consuming, mostly negative, usually irrelevant to personal goals and outside our influence.
And addictive, like caffeine.
Yeah, comparing those news checks to dopamine hits, which underpin that bold claim.
That the low-information diet is essential for success.
Downright essential if you want to succeed. Pretty strong words.
Based on prioritizing quality, though.
Exactly. Distinguishing low-grade daily news from high-quality, enduring info in books, in-depth publications. Aim for 90% from the latter, it suggested.
Okay, so wrapping this up,
Mhm.
it seems the core message is about extreme intentionality.
Be incredibly discerning. Focus only on what's useful, essential, important, and immediate for you and your goals.
Constantly asking that key question, will I definitely use this for something immediate and important?
Right. And maybe trying that idea of one dedicated study day a week for deeper dives instead of constant skimming.
And the practical examples really helped ground it, like no recreational reading during a focused project, only using the web for the task at hand.
It's about creating a focused mental environment.
Okay, let's bring this back around to you, our listener. This deep dive, it's really highlighted the potential upsides of being way more selective, more intentional about what information gets into your head.
Yeah, it's about consciously choosing less overall input
But focusing that input on what actually fuels your goals, what addresses your immediate needs.
and recognizing the real toll that information overload takes on your focus, your productivity, even just your sense of calm.
Your well-being.
Exactly. And it really does seem to boil down to asking those key questions regularly.
Will I use this now? Is it important for me?
Making those questions a habit could be the starting point for reclaiming your attention, your time, your mental energy.
So here's a final thought for you to chew on. What could you gain? What might you create or achieve or simply feel if you deliberately cut back on the daily info deluge?
And instead, focus that reclaimed energy on deeper learning, on things that truly matter to you or are critical for where you want to go.
Maybe this conversation planted a seed? Perhaps you could try a mini experiment, even just for a day or two this week. Cut back slightly and just notice. Notice what shifts.
Yeah, we definitely encourage you to explore this idea further in your own life. See what happens when you become the gatekeeper of your own attention. You might be surprised by the benefits.